This video was created by VinylicPuma of VinylicPumaGaming. Hey guys, I'm going to have a Q&A next video. Please be sure to leave a question if you want to participate. Hey guys, back with another Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel video, and today I wanted to do a countdown on the top 10 fastest fire rate guns and weapons in Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. Now, despite some of these guns having really fast fire rates, some of them are kind of bad. However, some of them are also quite good, and I would recommend that you use them. So let's go ahead here, and we will start with number 10, and that is going to be the Anarchist. The Vladof Anarchist is one of the highest fire rate pistols from both games and is a very good weapon on several different characters. This is going to include Axton, Salvador, and Gage from Borderlands 2, and Nisha, Athena, and Jack from Borderlands the pre-sequel. Now, overall, this gun has decent damage and also has a very large magazine size as well. There are also some cool variants of the Anarchist, like the Infinity Pistol and the Proletarian Revolution from Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, respectively. Like all other non-unique guns, the Anarchist is a generic world drop and can be obtained from any suitable loot source in both Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. Number 9. The Fusillade. So the Fusillade is kind of a dud, in my opinion, but it's an assault rifle that's exclusive to Borderlands the pre-sequel that has a very high fire rate. Despite the high fire rate, this assault rifle is crippled with low base damage, which contributes to low damage per second. What's interesting about the Fusillade, though, is that it has good accuracy and reload speed for a bandit scav assault rifle. Honestly, I'd say this is definitely a gun that you can skip and is possibly one of, if not the most underwhelming guns added in the Clap-Tested Voyage DLC for Borderlands the pre-sequel. Now, if you do decide you still want a Fusillade, you can get one from one of the badass Claptrap bots in the Subconscious location in, of course, Borderlands the pre-sequel's Clap-Tested Voyage DLC. Number 8. The Stinger. The Stinger is essentially a more powerful variant of the stock Vladof Anarchist, and unlike the Anarchist, the Stinger is exclusive to Borderlands 2. The biggest difference is that the Stinger has projectiles that can ricochet off of surfaces, much like the Stalker pistol does. However, the Stinger projectiles move much faster. A lot of people that play Salvador like the Stinger, as the Infinity doesn't work as well with Salvador's money shot skill. This is also a decent weapon to use on Anarchy Gage, provided you don't have a true neutral Necromancer class mod, which will allow you to use the Infinity pistol with Anarchy. Now, the biggest downside to the Stinger is that it can only be acquired from the Ancient Dragons of Destruction raid boss in Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragonkeep DLC for Borderlands 2. Now, I will leave it up to you to decide if that is worth it or not. I guess I could have made this an entry about the Droog sniper rifle, but I ultimately decided to choose the Lyuda as I think it's the most powerful Droog variant from both Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. The machine also takes a little while to wind up to hit that maximum fire rate, where the Lyuda already fires at its maximum fire rate from the start. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Lyuda, the sniper rifle has very high critical hit damage and can fire 3 projectiles at the cost of 1 bullet. If you can get your distancing right, you can get all 3 projectiles to hit the same crit spot, dealing massive amounts of damage in the process. Now, Droog snipers in general are some of the best snipers from both games and are worth picking up if you're interested. Now, as for the Lyuda, you can acquire the Lyuda from Gettle in the Dust in Borderlands 2. Number 6. The Butcher. The Butcher has possibly the highest fire rate of any shotgun in Borderlands 2. The Butcher is almost like an SMG or assault rifle in that very respect. Now, while the Butcher has a low projectile count, you get high accuracy like on most Hyperion weapons, along with high fire rate and the ability to randomly add ammo to the gun while firing. Certain characters like Salvador, who have the ability to regenerate ammo, can use the Butcher and almost never run out of ammo. It is worth mentioning that the Butcher is not as good as other Hyperion shotguns like the Conference Call or Interfacer, but that still said, the Butcher is still quite powerful. The Butcher is obtained from the various legendary loot midget locations in the game, or you can get one from Oh My God What the Hell from Digistruct Peak for Borderlands 2. Number 5. The Lead Storm. Like the Lyuda sniper rifle and the Butcher shotgun before it, I would argue that the Bloodstorm is a good and possibly even great weapon for the player to use. While the Bloodstorm does support a very high fire rate, it's not quite as high as the Shredifire. That said, the Bloodstorm is still superior thanks to the fact that it fires these arc projectiles that are like the hail. However, each initial projectile can split into 3 instead of just 2, and for those of you that don't know, the hail can only split into 2, the Bloodstorm can of course split into 3. This ability makes it a good weapon to use up against certain raid bosses like Terramorphous, especially if you can get a fire version. Now, you can buy the Bloodstorm from either the Seraph vendor or Veracitus in the Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt DLC for Borderlands 2. Number 4, the ZXOne. The ZXOne has a very high fire rate for a dull blaster-type laser in Borderlands the pre-sequel. This high fire rate is excellent when paired with the ability to automatically target enemies and hit with virtually 100% accuracy like every time. This effect is similar to how Borderlands 2's Seeker assault rifle, however it's way better on the ZXOne thanks to its higher fire rate and better projectile speed. Now, I would say this gun isn't quite as strong as some of the other lasers you can find in Borderlands the pre-sequel. I would rate the Excalibastard, the Longest Yard, the Rosie, the Absolute Zero, and Laserdiscer well above the ZXOne if you needed a powerful laser. Even still, if you do want one, you can acquire one from either the Empyrean Sentinel or Colonel Zarpedon in Borderlands the pre-sequel. Number 3, the Shredifire. The Shredifire is one of the fastest firing assault rifles in Borderlands 2 and might be the fastest in Borderlands the pre-sequel. Now, according to the Borderlands wiki, the Shredifire can attain a fire rate as high as 15.7, though it's worth mentioning that like all spinny guns, you will need to have it rev up in order to achieve maximum fire rate first. Personally, I've always felt that the Shredifire was inferior to the Infinity Pistol due to the Shredifire having a low base damage. Now, this low base damage makes it have inferior DPS, despite it having actually a pretty good magazine size for an assault rifle. Now, the Shredifire is a random world drop in both games, however, you can acquire one from Hyperius with an increased chance in Borderlands 2. Now, in order to fight Hyperius, you will need the Captain Scarlet and her Pirate's Booty DLC. Number 2, the Fast Talker. This is possibly one of the highest fire rate SMGs from Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. Now, I don't think there is another SMG that can compete with the Fast Talker in just terms of like raw fire rate. It's ridiculous. Now, sort of like the Shredifire, this of course comes at the cost of decreased base damage and somewhat low DPS. However, I would say that the Fast Talker is still useful as you can use it to quickly gain Maelstrom stacks on Athena in Borderlands the pre-sequel. Now, without a doubt, the biggest downside to the Fast Talker is that it is exclusive to owners of Tales from the Borderlands and can only be obtained legitimately one time at your character's specific level. So that means if you were to get it at level 31, you can't get it again at max level without using a save editor. Now, hopefully, Gearbox will make the Fast Talker and all of the other Tales from the Borderlands exclusive items obtainable from any suitable loot source in the future. Number 1, the Chopper. According to the Borderlands wiki, the Chopper has the fastest fire rate for any gun or weapon in Borderlands 2 with a maximum fire rate of 18.1. Overall, though, the Chopper is a bizarre and impractical weapon. Once you pull the trigger, you keep firing until you run out of assault rifle ammo. It's true that you can stop the Chopper from firing by performing a melee attack, however. While the fire rate of the Chopper is high and you fire 4 projectiles per shot, you don't really deal a whole lot of damage with this thing, or at least nowhere near as much as that you would think or even expect. Like the Fusillade and even the Shredifire, this assault rifle is pretty much just another dud. If you want one though, it does drop from Deciduous the Invincible and Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt DLC for Borderlands 2. It's not worth it in my opinion, however, you may feel differently. Anyway guys, that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like. Also, as far as the Q&A goes, we are going to be doing it either on this Tuesday, May 3rd, or on the Wednesday, May 4th. Possibly May 5th, but I don't think it'll go that far. But anyway, guys, I just kind of want to see if there are any new announcements for Fallout 4. There might be, there might not be, and this way we're prepared. So anyway, guys, like this video, please be sure to leave a like. Take care, and I'll see y'all next time.